Hello, and thank you for joining us on the Monday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayo. Presidency brokers and Miyetti Allah leaders in Ondo State as Governor Akeredolu insists headers must vacate forest reserves. Gunmen kidnap 8 orphans, 3 others in Abuja orphanage invasion. Abacha family loses bid to reclaim his loot, and later on the show, Chelsea Fire manager Frank Lampard. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Mojid Jamil. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the brewing coalition course between Ondo State Governor and headsmen over an order by Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu to them to quit the state forest reserves may, in the short run, be averted. Now, this following the intervention of the presidency, which brokered a fence-mending parley between Southwest governors and leaders of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association in the region, after expiration of the 7-day ultimatum given by Akeredolu, but the governor insists headers must vacate the forest reserves. Julie, I think the governor is quite clear from his ultimatum from day one. Now, this is different from what is happening in Oyo State. Sunday Igboho is saying Fulani, the entire Fulani people should vacate, where they are staying.
In
Ibarapa. But Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu is saying that, look, this forest reserve, that anybody should vacate. If you don't have any business there, you should vacate the place. I think this is just a simple misrepresentation of what the intention and everything from the reaction we've gotten so far.
Yes, I think the governor was grossly misquoted, misrepresented, and I think the big problem for a lot of people actually read the Daily Trust story and believed it hook, line, and sinker, because the banner headline was like he told Fulani headsmen to leave. But we were, and a lot of people thought that he actually told them to leave the state. But that was not what the governor said. He said that the headers should vacate the games reserve because those games reserves are located in Ondo North. That's where they usually take the people that they kidnap to. And he was just looking for a way to sanitize the environment, to keep the environment safe. So the truth is, ethnicity has been brought into this whole matter, and even the response of the presidency to it has not helped matters, because it has merely deepened our ethnic tensions. So the truth
also misinterpreted.
Yes, grossly. Clearly, at the time that response came, they had not had a correct grasp of what transpired at the meeting, what the governor said. Today, 4 governors from the Southwest, namely Governor Akeredolu, Makinde, Oyetola, and Fayemi, as well as 2 governors from the North. That's the governors of Kebbi and the governor of Jigawa State, met with the stakeholders, the cattle breeders, as well as their colleagues from the Southwest. And the governor reiterated the fact that he wanted anyone who had no business in the forest reserves to vacate the place. So the governor said that headers can use the place if they are registered with the state government. So the idea is to know who is occupying those forests so that at any point, one can be sure that legitimate herdsmen, true herdsmen, not people who are posing as Fulani herdsmen, but who are bare-faced criminals, are the ones using the games reserve. Also, during the meeting, the Miyetti Allah member said they too are victims of kidnapping. They talked about the case of a man who contested for the chairmanship of Miyetti Allah in Ogun State, who was called to come and bail some kidnappers, simply because the kidnappers were Fulani. He was invited to come and bail them. And when he got there, he refused to bail them. He said, these are just criminals. These are not our members. And he walked away. By the time they got out of jail, they killed him. They killed him the day after they got out of jail. So the point that they were making is everyone is a victim of criminality. Let's not allow criminals to thrive in our communities, because it could be you tomorrow. It could be someone else, including those who are indirectly promoting criminality. They could be victims one day. So that's the point. And of course, the governor for your state also made the point that, look, we cannot use criminality to fight criminality, which is a way of saying that it does not approve of the actions of Sunday Igboho. So what the governor wants to see is for all of us to come together and find a way to defeat these kidnappers. This was the way it started. In fact, I was discussing with a very senior official in Katsina State this afternoon. I was saying, look, it makes sense for people to come together and defeat this thing at this embryonic stage. All of them, led by Fayemi and all of them from the Southwest, if those governors know what they are doing, this is the time to do whatever is necessary to defeat this thing at this stage. Because that person was telling me that, look, the delay, our inaction, is what has created an intractable problem now in Katsina, in Kaduna, in Zamfara, and even Sokoto, because in some local government in Sokoto, they still slaughter people for fun. These bandits, places like Tureta, Sabombrini, all of those places. So this is the thing. We all must come together and make sure that we defeat these fellows.
Mujid, Afenifere says presidency position or to quit on the quit order is pure arrogance and incitement. It's like to anarchy. Do you understand that? It's as if after this ultimatum given to people, the forest reserve, a lot of this social-cultural group, ethnic group, they latched on to it, and this thing has been heavily politicized now.
I think somebody should talk to Garba Shehu, not to be putting emotions in the press releases issues on behalf of the presidency. Is occupying a very key position that it should not use to inflame an already tense situation just because he has some ethnic sentiments. His reaction to the statement, as like Jide said, to the statement by the Ondo State governor, it's very reckless. I mean, you can't say the governor doesn't know what he's doing. We have channels of communication. If you are not clear about what the governor said, you could just easily have put a call to the State House in Akure. I mean, there are ways of clarifying these issues. Like the governor said, he said, we are after criminal elements. We want those who are occupying those forests to be registered. We want to have an idea of who and who stays where. I mean, the forest reserves along Ose or area, they call it J4 area. You know,
Okay,
very vast, very vast. After Ijebu? Yeah, very vast area. And you know, the rubber plantation, teak farms, teak plantation. I mean, and a host of others in that area. So it's a densely populated area that is being gradually overtaken by criminals. So And most of the victims that are kidnapped are taken into that place. I mean, ransoms are paid there, and even when they are released, I mean, you get to know that they normally come out from around that place. So, if the governor is saying that, yeah, to nip this thing in the bud, I mean, we need to allow everybody to leave that place. If you want to stay there, come and register properly. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And that's the clarification the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum and also the governor, Fayemi, that was the clarification he made earlier today, that it's not a quit order to Miyetti Allah or Fulanis or any particular ethnic tribe, but a quit order to criminals that if you have genuine intention of staying in the forest, then come and register. I don't think there's any big deal there. And to add more salt to injury, I mean, look at the reckless editorial from Daily Trust too. That's not the first time they are doing it. I think somebody should...
It's very shameful.
Very, very, very
Sometimes
shameful. From Daily Trust, I mean...
I get ashamed being a journalist.
That I'm a journalist, that Daily Trust could be writing an editorial on that kind of thing with...
And it's one of the best newspapers in our country.
Honestly.
Without a doubt.
Very, very reckless.
But to descend to that level...
level, it's a low, very, very low abyss that Daily Trust have descended to. I mean, to have written that kind of editorial without cross-checking your facts. I mean, so these are the issues. I mean, those who are supposed to be educating us are even igniting tension. So, I mean, if a spokesman for the presidency is issuing that kind of statement, I mean,
followed up by
an editorial. I mean, we know, you can see the sequence. He must have given them the template for which they wrote that editorial. I mean, very reckless.
The former Senate president, that time, Senator Abacha Bukola Saraki, wants President Buhari to call a meeting of stakeholders on this matter. As you said earlier, the earlier, the better, so that we don't allow this thing to snowball.
Yes, the president has done that in the past, and if necessary, he could still do it. I still recall his role in quelling the crisis in Mambila. At any point, if the president feels that it is actually necessary, he can do it, or get some other people to do it for him. I believe that this situation is still very much under control, and all that we need to do is continue to work to douse tension. I'm impressed with the conduct of the Commissioner of Police in Oyo State. I think she has handled the matter competently, and I believe that their visit to Ibarakwa, along with the team from the IG's office in Abuja, will also help us to put this matter under control. Nobody benefits from wanton killings and disruption. So those who are beating the drums of war, they should realize that they could be among the biggest victims of war. A philosopher said, unfortunately, in all wars, I think it's even Mama Vasa, he said, unfortunately, in all wars, those who die are those who do not deserve to die. So, absolutely with the late writer, Major General Mama Vasa, that in wars, those who ought not to die often die, because there's usually collateral damage. Yeah. Some people will go and cause trouble somewhere, and it's other people that will pay with their lives. So we don't need tension in our country at this time. And the steps that the Miyetti Allah two have taken, I think is a good step, because I was reading the chairman. He said, we intend to work closely with the governors in the region to unmask criminals who masquerade as cattle breeders to inflict mayhem on innocent citizens. The governor had earlier said that...
And he also apologized on behalf of Miyetti Allah cattle rearers.
Yes.
Which is a very...
They need to work with government to identify these people, because they know them. They know them. It's difficult to say that, oh, you do not know this person. Even the criminals, even those, the bandits in the north, many of them, people know them, know their parents.
Yeah.
Now
So we need to expose them so that justice can be meted on these people.
Now, from what you've seen from the Oyo State case, a lot of people say Makinde needs, to form Governor's Advisory Forum on Insecurity. That former Governor of Oyo State, Alawa Akala, that Makinde might need to put these former governors together, and they will be able to help him with the insecurity around Oyo State now, because the way it played out in this Sunday Igboho's saga, it shows.
I'm surprised the way Makinde has been carrying on this matter. But like Jide said, we should give credit to the Commissioner of Police in Oyo State. And it's a lady. I mean, Lady Ngozi. Fantastic woman. When the arrest order purportedly came.
We can't confirm that.
I know, that's why I said purported. Purportedly came. I mean, she was able to douse the tension.
But generally, it was all over the media.
Well, that's why.
No. It was said that the presidential spokesman made that claim on BBC Hausa service also.
Okay.
So it's different from hearing
from the IGP
himself.
But
he made the claim that the arrest had been ordered.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can even make the arrest an order and review the situation
to see that, look,
with the
it's going to be very difficult. Yes.
It will have been.
It's very difficult, counterproductive.
Counterproductive to arrest Sunday Igboho. I mean, at the level he has risen to, because the people now listen to him, they see him as their own security. I mean, see
what the commissioner did. He sent him back to the place to talk to the people.
To talk to the people, and now as we speak,
that's diplomacy.
As we speak, the commissioner of police will probably be in Igangan now in Ibarakwa with Sunday Igboho talking to the people,
both of them addressing the people. Yes.
Both of them addressing that. See, this is Sunday Igboho. Nobody's going anywhere. Sunday Igboho too. Very diplomatic and very smart guy. He was able to tell those guys, say, don't use this opportunity to engage in acts of criminality. He was warning them, because I watched all the videos. I mean,
and he assured that they will make arrests.
And I look at, if you also listen to the Seriki Hausawa of the Ibarakwa community, the Seriki Fulani, I mean, he also had his own points that even this criminal elements were cattle rustlers. They will grab some of their cattle and go and sell it. They even attack some of his men. Although Igboho also alleged that
the Seriki himself was collecting ransom on behalf of some of these people. Readily substantiate that, but that's one alleged.
So, I mean, that's why Makinde should constitute a team of both the Hausa community and the likes of the Amotekun in that place, the police, and some other security agencies, and even probably involve Sunday Igboho, and I mean, to find a lasting solution to this problem. Because by the time people start taking up arms to defend themselves, then we are gradually degenerating into a state of anarchy.
Julian, finally, in Taraba, what's happening? What's happening? This is so despicable. Yeah. It's as if the only business they have is Taraba. I'm sorry.
Even in broad daylight, they break into people's homes to kidnap people.
It's as if that's the only thing going on.
In many cases, it's on the highway that they kidnap people. But in Taraba, they will break into your house. If they need you, they will break into your house. And look, they killed this guy and his brother. Why? Because the brother, was trying to make life difficult for them. He was trying to make life difficult for them. He was trying to block their paths so that they will not be able to escape. And what did they do? When they saw clearly that they would not be able to escape with the chairman, the local government chairman, they then opened fire on him.
Wow.
They just killed him and ran away. It's like, okay, if we cannot get you,
you won't live to tell the story. Yeah.
So this insecurity, we keep talking about it. People think we don't have anything to do with our time. But it is because It is a terrible...
What else are we going to be talking about in Nigeria?
No, the thing is...
This country is almost in
If it is the biggest, if it is the biggest problem in this...
that is it.
I listened to the president's speech. He was alluding to the fact that it is the biggest problem we have now. So myself and my president were in agreement that this is the biggest problem we have now. And since it's the biggest problem we have now,
we must talk about it.
We will talk about it. Let somebody the other day say that you people are promoting bandits and Boko Haram. That's what your level of education can give you. We are not condemning people, telling government to go after them and kill them. In their own interpretation is promoting them because he does not want us to talk about it.
Yes.
It's a waste of time. We will keep talking about it until our country has peace. That is the job of the journalist.
And a lot of APC members will not like you.
Even some PDP members too will not. Do you think some PDP members too in Oyo would like the fact that you are focusing on their state? It does not matter which party. Leave the party issue. It is about
security
fidelity
in Nigeria.
to the truth, not party issue. And that's what they should realize. It's not about party.
All right. Still on insecurity, anyway, there's no other thing we are going to anchor power. You can imagine this. Kidnapping is taking a more dangerous dimension in Nigeria as heartless and senseless kidnappers struck brazenly at a vulnerable location. Now, the gunmen, armed with sophisticated weapons, invaded the St. Richard's orphanage in Abacha area, council of FCT, Abuja, and abducted 7 orphans, including a security guard. 3 persons who reside behind the orphanage were also abducted by the kidnappers at gunpoint. Now, I don't know, do they understand the meaning of even having an orphanage? Let me take this breather. When we come back, you will answer that question. We'll be right back after this time out. Please stay with us.
Admission is on into all our classes at St. Joseph Nursery and Primary School, Itimangoro, Agege, Lagos, and St. Joseph Secondary School, Itimangoro, Agege, Lagos, a reputable institution with the state-of-the-art facilities established in 1962. For further inquiries, visit us at number 1 Sule Street, Itimangoro, Agege, Lagos, or call any of the numbers on your screen. You can also visit our website, www.stjosephslagos.com.ng.
The G20 Smart is your favorite multi-purpose vehicle. It's designed with a spacious cabin that allows wall-to-wall seating, drives smoothly like a sedan, conveys more like a bus. A useful cargo space without the need to fold the seats. The IBM G20 Smart features an intelligent drive-by-wire throttle and a powerfully efficient engine. A family vehicle, a people vehicle, a multi-purpose vehicle.
If you're looking for a comfortable urban transporter, look no further. The IVM Sariki comes with exhilarating performance engineered to make every drive comfortable. Equipped with masterful handling, drive-centric dashboard and controls, ample headroom and legroom, effective air conditioning, and modern safety features. The Commute King is here. Drive with pride. Innocent vehicles, proudly made in Nigeria.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you live from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria, from the TV station of the year, once again. Now, Babajide, when you look at, okay, Mojid, before we went on break, we were talking about this mindless, ruthless guys.
Yeah, when I read that story, I was like, what is going on? I mean, we were still battling with the Ondo and Oyo cases, and as well as Taraba and other places.
It's all over.
Abuja. In an orphanage that you don't. These are people that need so much compassion.
They need help.
They need help. Now, kidnapping 7 motherless or parentless orphans and their one of their guards and 3 people living close to that area, and we are demanding 10 million ransom for these kids. These are kids that were
they don't have parents.
They were abandoned
by their
They were
parents.
Poorest of the poor.
Poorest of the poor. It shows how heartless
Animals,
these characters are. I mean, so you want to wonder, how do you appeal to the conscience of that kind of human being? So that's why we keep begging the federal government that, I mean, we must step up the level of security in this country. Because it's like, it will get to a point where these characters will be getting to places of worship to pick people up there.
Yes, in broad daylight.
In broad daylight. It will get, this one happened in an orphanage. I doubt if they know what orphanage means.
They just know that they are children somewhere. Maybe they did some reconnaissance, and they told them they are children.
Very pathetic.
So I can't explain it. It's difficult for me to understand that you go to an orphanage and kidnap and abduct children, and now ask for 10 million. Who will pay?
The truth is, the rate at which they are kidnapping people in the satellite towns of the FCT is very, very high. What they do is they go from community to community, they break people's doors, and then pick them in their sleep. Look at what one of the, they kidnapped 3 women along with these people. One of them said that they picked his wife beside him while he was sleeping. Can imagine your wife is you stay in bed with you. They don't need you. It's your wife they come for. In the dead of night, 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
Then they went away with your wife. Which agony is greater than that? There's nothing that anyone can do to empty the manliness in a human being.
To humiliate a man.
Yeah,
they've taken the manliness out of you.
Yeah.
You have now become like a korofo. You are empty. That's what these guys have done. They took the woman away right under the nose of the husband. So this is what they are doing in Kuje, in Buhari, Abaji. All of this, even Gwagwalada, the suburbs. Abuja suburbs, they are raiding them and kidnapping people. And a lot of these people come from as far as Gwari, Niger State, and some parts of Kaduna. Because this Buhari is on the way to Kaduna itself, along the road. So government has to improve security. The way things are degenerating, these guys want to turn us to another Somalia, and where it appears no one is in charge.
Yeah, particularly, it's not only, it has just filtered into the southwest, as in the last 2-3 years. But Senator Sani yesterday on the show actually told us that apart from the city center, that you dare not step away. Now, that means even in the north.
Even now, it's getting to that level, and almost on a daily basis now. Just, I think this afternoon I saw a video of some people along, I think, Benin-Ore Expressway, just this afternoon.
Benin-Ore Expressway?
Benin-Ore Expressway, this afternoon. The same way between Akungba and Akure. I had another video yesterday where the commuters were faced with gunfire. And I mean, you could see them thanking God that they escaped. So now it's now difficult for you to even
for the meantime, if you can
traveling,
just suspend.
So
moving out of.
Yeah,
they said if you pay ransom, what they are doing, because there are different groups. You know why it's difficult to stop it in Casino, despite the money they've given these guys? It's because there are too many
very lucrative,
too many big guys within their group. They don't have a central authority, central leadership. So if you have like 50 men, you will be rated based on the weapons at your disposal.
Wow.
So if you do a deal with this fellow and he agrees, how about this person? So there are many like that. So it's a waste of time doing
That shows
amnesty.
the thing is lucrative.
I'm
is
going
it.
there.
And they can be
They
tracked.
said 90% of the money they collect as ransom, they use it to buy weapons, because the more weapons they have, the bigger they become within
the system.
the bandits group. And I learned that even one of the 3 guys who kidnapped those boys, the Kankara boys, he has even fled Nigeria. He's now in Ghana. He has fled to Ghana. So this is the thing.
To go and enjoy his food.
He feels that he has made enough money. Let him go there. Right now, it will appear there is peace in Katsina, but what they are after is, they know this is dry season.
Yeah.
They need you to allow them to move freely, because they also have cattle, so that they can get to watering holes and all that. That's all, the whole idea. By the time this season goes now, you see that they will be back fully to what they are doing. So there is no solution beyond simply killing these people. You have to waste them, because even they too, they have no sympathy for anyone.
They have no sympathy.
They have no sympathy.
I see no reason in the amnesty that's been granted to them in whatever name. I mean, trying to get them back into the system, to reintegrate them back into the system. I don't think it is making sense. That's why they are infiltrating everywhere now. They're almost everywhere. I saw a video of somewhere in the southwest. I can't actually know where their location is, but I know that vegetation is in the southwest. These guys are there, and with heavy ammunition, speaking some foreign language.
They come in from Mali, from Niger, different places.
So because they have seen that our borders are so porous and that the resistance is so low. So the moment they see that there's no resistance, I mean, they continue in this dastardly act. So I think the government needs to be more strategic in tackling this matter. And also the Southwest should do more with the Amotekun. We have not really had much about the Amotekun needs to be empowered to go into those forests and liaise with the local hunters and traditionalists to fish out these characters from that place.
All right, moving on now. The ghost of Nigeria's former maximum ruler, General Sani Abacha, still looms large in our polity. More than 2 decades after his death, an attempt by the Abacha family to access the accounts of the late dictator, frozen by government, was stopped by the Supreme Court, which refused to grant a request to unfreeze the accounts traced to the late dictator and his relatives in the United Kingdom, Switzerland, Jersey, Liechtenstein, and Luxembourg. A 5-man panel led by Justice Sylvester Nguta dismissed the suits for lacking in merit after suffering similar fates in the Court of Appeal. Since 1999, since we started this democratic journey, every administration, I've been hearing about Abacha loot, and quantifying this thing. I think if Abacha ruled Nigeria for how many years, and if he succeeded in
about 5 years,
stealing that kind of money from Nigeria, that shows that Abacha might not be a normal person. Years ahead, this is after 20, how many years?
Only God knows how much he looted.
I don't understand. To do what?
Many years down the line, we could still be finding more. See, in April 2018, we got $322.51 million. In February 2020, we got $308 million. In May 2020, we got $311 million. So, on 3 occasions, just 3 occasions, we got $941,848,000. And before
almost
now,
$1 billion.
No, we are talking of just 2 years, so 2018 to 2020. Before now, we had been recovering.
We've been recovering, though.
Yeah.
Before now, the Obasanjo regime,
Yes.
in order to make peace, because there was a court, they took us to court, took Nigeria to court. in order to have that case resolved, that case closed, and for them to leave us alone and not be impediment
Concentrate
to
on the recovery. Yeah.
yes, impediment to recovery. We agreed to give them about $2 billion.
The Abacha family.
Yes, the Abacha family. You know? Now, as if that was not enough, we have been recovering money since then. The former what was it to Abacha? Major Hamza Mustafa, the Chief Security Officer to Abacha, said that he kept this money for Nigeria.
Oh, really?
Because it's the grandfather of the nation.
He kept it for Nigeria, but when you lie sometimes, you lie without tact. If he kept it for Nigeria, why is his family
names?
Why is his family? No, he even used the different family names.
Yeah.
Members of his family challenging us
in court today
to unfreeze the money.
Major Mustafa, thank you.
Let him be deceiving himself, be lying to people.
Thank you. He kept it on our behalf.
He kept it on our behalf. So why are they now trying to recover what the court order decided to freeze? What the court decided to freeze? Why are they trying to get another court to unfreeze it so that they can take possession? And you are saying that he kept it for us.
Okay, this
Who
is the
does
family.
that?
Okay, this is the family you said some years back has been settled with $2 billion. Do you know what's $2 billion?
Are they even ashamed of themselves?
Yeah, financial.
No,
$2 billion.
The amount involved.
MG, can you spend that in your lifetime?
The amount involved in this whole looting and relooting is in the range of $20 billion.
What?
Yes. So they were settled with $2 billion. Between 1999 till now, Nigeria has recovered between $5 and $7 billion. So there are still some.
We still have like 12, 13.
Yes.
There are still some outside. It takes a long time to have that money.
Look at the funny countries.
Yeah, Luxembourg, Jersey Island.
Countries that we never had their names before.
Switzerland, Liechtenstein. I mean, those are where they.
Who goes to those people except those who want to keep slush money?
I know that there are some that will not be traceable.
No, some we will never be able to trace.
And also, they also, by proxy, the Abacha family has interest in some oil deals and so many other things. But the Obasanjo regime through Kanu Agadi.
And if you remember, Abacha was also busy in his time fighting corruption. Fighting corruption in the banking sector.
He fought corruption.
That was the first thing he did.
Yeah.
When all this investment houses and everything. Yes, Field Bank Tribunal. All this chief of IMA, everybody, Abacha was.
He actually fought corruption, quote and unquote. While helping.
Well, he was helping himself to a lot of the money. What they always tell us, this silly thing that Nigerians always say is, they are talking about Abacha because he's dead. And I asked the question from the people who say such nonsense. Is Shehu Shagari not dead? Who has quoted any amount of money?
Yeah.
Even Gawan, who is not dead, no one has found any money that is told. He's not the last person who will die, who had been president of Nigeria. Our presidents, former presidents, they are very old. Some of them are very old now. Nobody will be able to have this kind of money
stealing
listed against his name.
Reckless abandon.
Yes, of course it was a dictatorship, so who will argue with him?
I've never seen that kind of thing.
I'm sure at the point in time, you would have been going directly to CBN to take money.
Who can argue now? If he says, okay, you want to
was
die.
it Paul Oguma that time, CBN governor?
you want to die? This was a family that, because one of his sons wanted a particular building, they threatened a whole former flag officer commanding Eastern Naval Command. I think it's Ekunda Opale or someone. I can't remember that man.
Yeah, I think it's Opale then, from Ogun State.
They said, look, are you prepared to die? They showed him the third mainland bridge. They took him there and showed him the water. Are you prepared to die? Because if they were interested in your property,
it was as bad as that.
If they were interested in your property, you must sell it. That was the kind of person that
today's kind of, that means that family will still be very rich.
Stinkingly rich.
Can you imagine what $2 billion?
Stinkingly rich. What are you going to do with $2 billion?
Do?
And they are still trying to
grab more.
This is so that they can take possession of it. And Al-Mustafa will come and lie to us again that they kept it for our country. Because you think everybody in Nigeria is a mumu. Yeah, in our country, it's not everyone who cannot think beyond their noses now.
You kept money.
Someone stole all of this money.
We're still repatriating since 1998.
We have not finished.
This litigation started in 2004.
2004.
From the Federal High Court in Kaduna. They got even as at 2020 last year. There was a
judgment in April.
Yeah, in April.
And if you don't pursue, if you don't appeal,
you know what they always think is that this Supreme Court, that the old men they don't know what they are doing.
Yeah, that there are new.
They expect Supreme Court to always review its judgment and change its own decisions because the Supreme Court are ruled on this matter.
Yes.
They still went back. They
Really?
Still went back to appeal that release this our money. Meanwhile, they said it was kept for Nigerians.
Abuse of
The Supreme Court ruled on this thing in 2020, just last year.
They still went back.
They want to do.
So the judge,
Justice Kekere
in the lead judgment, said no new or superior argument has been proffered here to warrant a departure from the decision in the case of Alhaji Sani earlier decided. This appeal fails and it is hereby dismissed.
Now, I think lawyers,
at a cost.
I think there should be something this court should be telling lawyers, or maybe to be deroping them. Because if you're advising your clients to abuse the court process, after the court might have adjudicated on something. Justice
Kekere actually alluded to that it was the same lawyer, what's his name now, that was the solicitor to this same family in this same Supreme Court last year, and we are bringing the same thing here. So, like you said, I think there should be a penalty for such a lawyer for wasting the time of the bench. Honestly.
All right. So, we'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk sports. We'll be right back.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV station of the year, not just for breaking news, but being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Reaching home stretch now, Emmanuel Akinduwa from our sport department is joining us. Now, for some time now, Chelsea manager Frank Lampard had been in the tenterhooks following a poor run of form by the Blues. The bubble final bust for Lampard, who has now been sacked. Chelsea owner Roman Ibrahimovic announced the sacking of Lampard earlier today. That's another manager asked in the English Premier League. I'm not surprised, Emmanuel. No, check the antecedent of Ibrahimovic since he took over. Since he took over as the owner of Chelsea Football Club. So I know it doesn't have
much patience.
Patience at all. Even when they got the best of the best, that's Mourinho. As at that time, I think
even on two spells. I mean, it tells you how much result-oriented Ibrahimovic is, and to be fair to him, most times these decisions tend to pay off because some measure of success follow this decision as much as he will. But of course, for every manager that has coached at Chelsea, even though the tenure may be short, they have some level of success. Even for Rafael Benitez, who was there on the short-term contract, he still won them at the Europa League in 2013. So for every manager, either Sarri, either Conte, either Mourinho, either Villas-Boas or Roberto Martinez, Roberto Di Matteo, they all had some success. And so it's not hard for Abramovich to take that decision. But of course, it's the brand that Chelsea's made of, a club that is known to, of course, represent some level of success when it comes to English football. But let's come back to Frank Lampard. In announcing the sacking of Lampard, Abramovich said this was a decision that he was very reluctant and not happy to make, considering the fact that Lampard was a club legend. Yeah, it was part of the golden era of the club. And they felt perhaps they can toe the line of other big European clubs who were offering managerial roles to their former club legends. We have Real Madrid, we have Barcelona, who did the experiment with Pep Guardiola. We had AC Milan, Juve. Every club in Europe is now looking at getting their former club icons as their new manager. And of course, Chelsea followed that template by getting Lampard. When even at the point when he was appointed, he was more like a rookie manager. He only had one season with Derby County. But of course, they wanted to toe that path, hoping that he would be able to translate into success. But after 84 matches, spanning over 18 months, with just a little over 50% winning rate, Chelsea felt this was a gamble that they couldn't take anymore. They are now 8th on the table midway into the season. They've lost ground in the Premier League race. Yes, they are true to the FA Cup 5th round, but of course that's not the target. The target still remains get the Premier League title and do well in the Champions League. So for now, it's goodbye Lampard as Chelsea make the best of what is left of their season.
Now, will you, in all honesty, rate Lampard as to have performed badly because they're in the 8th position? When you look at that table this season, that league table is somehow, you can't compare it to what we had last season. But by the time, it was 3-4 months to the end of Premiership, we knew that Liverpool is going home with with the cup. But the way when you see that list now, it will just take a few points for Chelsea to climb up if they win some matches.
If only they had been patient. We even saw Southampton lose scandalously to Leicester City. And after that, they put up fantastic showing. They went on a very long winning run. Today, Southampton is doing well. In fact, the Leicester City that beat them scored, I think, 9 goals against them. They went to Leicester City's home and defeated Leicester City at home. And they didn't change the coach. It was still the same coach that effected that turnaround. Sometimes, if you are patient with your coach, you get the right results. It takes time to build a team. Frank Lampard came and he imposed his style. His style is a very attractive attacking style, which he instituted at Derby County, where he brought Mason Mount, one of their best players now. But when you work for a man who is simply a money-miss road, who lacks the patience
you can't count
to watch
I've lost track.
Someone grow on the job, then the sort of thing that happened to Frank Lampard will happen. I knew that this will happen. They simply don't have that patience. But this is someone with potential.
If you remember, at a point in time,
Mourinho doesn't lose consistently to the same manager. This was the person who beat Mourinho home and away. And he's also dealt with him again, So he has potential. All that he needed was for them to be patient with him. And you don't, as they said, he was a club legend that he was reluctant. No, I do not agree.
Sound bites.
I do not agree.
On newspaper.
If he was reluctant, he would have waited until much later in the course of the season.
Yeah.
Because whether he likes it or not now, even if he is bringing Tuchel or whoever, they can't win the league. They should know that they can't win the league.
Perish the idea.
When you bring in so many new players, you need some time for them to gel. But the problem with this kind of club owners is once they invest so much like 200 and something million. They spend about 200 and something million on new arrivals, you know. Then they will not, they will start, they will expect the coach to start performing miracles immediately.
Emmanuel, doing the kind of comparative analysis, there was a time this season that Ole was, I think, 12th or 14th position. As at that time, I kept hearing the call for the sack of Ole and everything. But because I think the management of Manchester United, they are not, you know, they are not as...
Ole and Lampard may appear to have some similar result at some point, but their personality are quite different. While Ole is a manager that could easily manage the situation, we've seen that even at his press conferences coming out of a terrible result, the way Ole will approach each of the results tells you how much influence he has in his dressing room. Lampard has not demonstrated that capabilities just yet on the job. Yes, we could commend him for being a very courageous manager, taking up that job when Chelsea had a transfer ban, when he knew he lost his best player in Eden Hazard, and he couldn't even get a replacement, and he had to count on the young boys. And of course, he got some level of success in his first season, getting them to the FA Cup final, getting them to the Champions League knockout stages, and also getting them into Champions to finishing fourth in the Premier League. That was enough patience on the part of the club, and they empowered him with a £250 million transfer chest. I may not agree with Babajide that this is money misroad. I think the club had invested, and they expected a turnaround time. They expected some level of success. After 11 rounds of matches this season, Chelsea were top. They were top after 11 rounds of matches. So it wasn't as if maybe things were bad, but they've seen things happening in the dressing room. All of a sudden, Lampard can't inspire confidence in the boys. His substitution, his game plan is becoming very apparent that he doesn't really understand what he's doing.
That means if they were Liverpool, they will have sacked Klopp.
Every club have got their mandate.
Klopp has gone like 5 or 6 matches without winning.
We all know that Chelsea...
Yes, I think it's only Aston Villa that managed to beat in the league.
That's in the FA Cup.
And that was like a second string Aston Villa team. So if they were in Liverpool's shoes, they will have sacked.
We've seen some club where have even... I mean, Maurizio Sarri won the Europa League. Chelsea still sack him. Every club have got their philosophy. Beyond the results, there are some expectations.
What were they expecting from Sarri? What were they expecting from Abraham Grant? The truth is, this guy does not have the patience. We've seen...
How much patience will he have?
I've seen
when there's so much at stake.
Hold on now, hold on. This is football history that we are talking about. We've seen people achieve success with this club and they still sack them. Abi?
Because there's something...
Roberto Di Matteo, did he not achieve success?
Won the Champions League.
What did they do? Did they not sack him?
Of course, because the following season they could not even get past the group stage. They could not get past the group stage.
See, all the big teams, big teams that win so much, even under Barcelona, did Barcelona not lose to Bayern?
It's like Real Madrid now, Zinedine Zidane. So when Real Madrid is not doing well
and Ernesto Valverde had to pay for that. What's his name? Kike Setien had to pay for that embarrassing loss. See, every club have got their mandate. I am not backing Abramovich draconian approach to running this club, but it has worked for him so far.
You know that.
And like I said, many of all the managers brought in either at short notice or even for short-term contracts have delivered the results. This sacking comes with some financial implication for Chelsea, but the club does not minding that as long as
I think as a time real left.
Do you I'm sure you know as a sports writer that if Manchester United had not been patient with Sir Alex Ferguson, he would not have become the most successful English coach of all time.
The stakes were different.
You know how many years they had to be patient.
The stakes were different then.
Gentlemen,
now it was more of a 3-horse race.
No, if it was
an Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester United era.
No, if it was
we have top 8 teams now.
If it was Abramovich as the club owner at that time, he would not have given Ferguson all that time.
We're still expecting the end of the season. We look at the performance of these clubs and even Chelsea. I want to thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for joining us. And the maestro himself, the GD Talk Sport as if that's his first calling.
I don't like what they've done to Lampard. And that, frankly, it's a rival coach.
And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. And you can also watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Bye for now, and please keep safe.